I tell you, but we gotta do this here together.
Boss.
It take a team
Boss up.
to achieve the dream.
We pay the cost to be the boss. Invest without loss. Young Boss Media, your coverage get tossed. From lab stabs, videos too. Tapped in the movies, a who's a who. Shows, pros, just do it, Bo knows. Entrepreneurs, plan, see how it grows. Fly magazines, we flip the scene. Check out Ray James, he on the big screen. By invitation across the nation. Young Boss Monica, she know what she facing. The leader of the crew, she know what to do. Check her out the front if you wanna come through. Only if you got her master plan. Make it in the control room, holla at Stan. Bless the hairstyle, thank God we healthy. Bossed up media, we taking over Chelsea. Young Boss Media, who you need is us. In this community, what we feeding ya. Young Boss Media, who you need is us. In this community, what we feeding ya. Young Boss Media, who you need is us. In this community, what we feeding ya.
What's up, family? You know who it is. First of all, just a shout out to you all that have been hanging in there. We are in the Mind Your Business and Prosper conference. We started off with yoga. We got into the business finance. We got into intellectual property with Yamina. Shout out to the health and wellness panel. If you want to learn how to be a health and wellness entrepreneur, it is flowing. It is such high, great energy. So I'm just so happy that you are continuing to tune in with us. Now, this panel, if you know me, if you have known me for at least the past decade, you know I have a strong passion about Mother Africa. Going to Africa, being a part of the African diaspora, being Black. I mean, if you know me any part of my life, you know I love being Black. And I know y'all got issues with the word Black. Black, melanated, Nubian, Egyptian, all these identities, I identify with them because I love this melanin. I love it. I love people that look like me. And I want nothing more than for us to be unified and for us to prosper together. You know, because we know how to struggle together, but I want us to prosper together. And we can't have a real conversation about prosperity if we are not talking about the whole entire continent of beautiful, Black, luscious people. So today, not today, but right now in this panel, we are going to have a conversation about business opportunities in Africa. There's so many African Americans doing a phenomenal work, launching their business, being entrepreneurs, particularly during this quarantine. So many businesses have been created during this time. I want to bring in the Africa piece because there's also so many opportunities to connect with our brothers and sisters on the motherland. So whether you're in America, you're in the Caribbean, you're in the UK, you're a part of the diaspora, there's so many opportunities that are in the motherland, in Ghana, in Senegal, in Nigeria, in Kenya, in South Africa. And if you've been watching the mentorship call that I host on Young Boss Media, you'll have seen some of those conversations. So on today's panel, we have a sister from Ghana. Her name is Christabel, and she is in finance. So we're going to bring her to the panel. We also have Kemo, who I met actually 1 year ago, and I was at his Business Opportunities in Africa panel. And from that panel discussion for that conference that he had, I've met so many individuals that have actually helped me take Young Boss Africa to where it is today. So it's an honor to be here with these honorable people. And let's get talking about this money. How can we prosper? So first, I would like for you two to introduce yourselves, and then we're just going to get into the conversation. Christabel, would you like to go first?
Okay, sure. So, hi everybody again. My name is Christabel Okantey. I live in Ghana in West Africa. I was born and bred here. My current career is in finance. I've always worked in finance. I used to work in commercial banking, and now I work in investment banking. I love to help people be the best versions of themselves. I'm especially passionate about helping women in terms of finances. So that's something that I drive passionately in Ghana. And I'm a budding entrepreneur. So this is a good conversation to have with all of you out there. So I'm excited to be part of this conversation. I look forward to good times. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing your knowledge. Brother Kemo, how are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing well. Thank you, Monica, again, and congratulations for this great initiative. So my name is Kemo, originally from Senegal. I spend my time between Senegal and Nigeria, where I'm running my business called Bediako, which is a platform where we connect people to opportunities like jobs, funding, or training. And I'm really happy to be here to share what I'm learning, still learning on the field in the continent, in Africa. I was lucky enough last year to meet with you, Monica, where we were organizing an event called Opportunities in Africa in New York, where we bring many companies from the continent, from Africa, to bring them to meet the Wall Street guys in New York. So this year, due to the COVID-19, we're gonna do this kind of stuff this year. So it's really a pleasure for me to be here to share with you, you guys, what we are doing and how you can benefit from what is happening in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kemo. Pleasure just being in your presence and getting to know you more and developing our relationship all around. Anytime I interview somebody, it's just like we're family. So we're definitely family. We're gonna have a family conversation. So let's get into it. Yeah, let's get into it. So you hinted at the opportunities in Africa. So let's get to it. What are the opportunities for somebody that has never been to the continent, but they're interested? Let's have a conversation about what opportunities are in Africa, and then we can break it apart a little more. So Kemo, could you take that?
Yeah, I can say that Africa, the first thing to know is not a country, it's a continent. Meaning it's really big. You cannot imagine. Let's say from Senegal, where I'm here, to Kenya, New York is closer to me than Kenya, for instance. I can take my breakfast in Senegal and have my lunch in New York, but I can do that with Kenya, for instance. So Africa is so big. And Africa is diverse in terms of opportunities, meaning that no matter the sector you take into consideration, there are a lot of things to do. It can be education, it can be in mining, in energy. There are many sectors that can be really interesting for any investors. When I say investors, it can be like a big corporation as well as just an entrepreneur, whether you are African or not, willing to stay and establish, to start your business in the continent. So today, one thing which is really exciting is the ICT, the tech business is something booming. Facebook just opened a second office in Africa, in Nigeria, yesterday. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so this is very that means that there are things happening in Africa for the tech business. We have like more and more companies raising capital from VC funds. Most of the VC funds, they are US related companies who are coming in countries like Ghana or Nigeria or Kenya. So there are many things happening in Africa, and for me, maybe one where I can have a focus in terms of sharing ideas will be a focus on the sub-Saharan Africa, where maybe I can say more things because I have been traveling to more than 20 countries, Kenya, Ghana, South Africa, all these countries. I have seen many positive things happening on the ground. So yes, no matter how is your goals or what you know, what you want to do in Africa, we can maybe have a conversation specific to what you are interested in.
Thank you. Christabel, I want to ask you the same question. What opportunities have you seen, or are you seeing right now that you can share with us?
Okay, so there are so many opportunities in Africa, and Kemo had said a lot of them. Especially in Ghana, we find that our services sector is the fastest growing sector in our economy. We have so many things in terms of agriculture, in terms of industry, in terms of manufacturing. It depends on your interest levels, okay, and where you have expertise. So if you're looking to come to Africa, the whole continent, you need to do your research and figure out exactly where, you know, it's more favorable for you. I can speak for Ghana because of I've been here the longest, so I know a lot more about Ghana, and so that would be my area of expertise. I don't really know much about the rest of the continent, but I would assume that because it is an emerging market, it's fertile. So whatever ideas that you have, this is the place to plant them and to grow them. There's more room for growth in Africa. We see that big companies, like you mentioned, Facebook, VW, all those companies are moving to Africa to set up the offices and manufacturing plants. So there's room for business for big, it's like Kemo said, like for big corporations as well as individuals looking to build upon a dream that they had wherever they are. So the opportunities are they're enormous. So you just need to do your research, see what works for you, and then just head down with the right expectations. Yeah.
Right. And so one thing that I love about this conversation is that I actually attempted to move to Ghana like right after college, almost a decade ago. And it was very hard because one, I was young 20, thought I knew it all, was not smart, did not know a lot of people. And so my money just, it ran through my hands like water.
Yeah.
It just dropped through. I was spending on just things that I just didn't, food, place to stay, this and that. But I knew that I wanted to come back and start a business. And so that's why I'm so passionate about Young Boss Africa and everything that we're doing now, because it's always been within me. And I always met people along the way that wanted to do the same thing. Now with you, Christabel, being in finance, an American that says they have like $5,000-$10,000, how far will that take us in Ghana attempting to start a business? Because we want to be really realistic about what we're doing.
Okay.
Is that a lot of money or is it not a lot of money? Like, help us understand what 2020 looks like for our money.
Okay, so if you have just $10,000 and that's what you want to move to Ghana to set up a business and live, I want to know that you are ready for the challenges you're going to face. One, and also, is the $10,000 just seed capital for the business, or is that going to be are your living expenses also going to come from that $10,000? Granted, the cost of living in terms of rent and utilities are lower in Ghana if you compare them to if you were coming from New York. They're quite low, but you have to also remember that when you're coming in, you don't have any new income coming. If that's the $10,000, it's going to take you maybe a month or two to understand the climate that you have come into before get to know the cultural nuances of the people that you've come into. It will take you, I want to say it will take you maybe 2 to 3 months to kind of get a grasp of living in the country before you want to go on to starting your business. Now, you'll be going through the processes for setting up your business. There's so many processes. You have to register the business. You have to look at the tax implications. There's so many things. So $10,000 might seem like, and I'm not here to bust anybody's bubble.
Let's have a conversation. Yeah.
I don't want to burst your bubble, but it depends on the industry that you're going into. Because I'm thinking that even if you're spending $500 a month on let's say accommodation and utilities, and then you still have to eat and transportation, maybe $600. And that's you living on a very conservative budget. Okay. Now the life in Africa is free. People enjoy a lot. So if you come in and you're carried away by that, you're gonna run through your money quick, because a lot of people come to Africa and they're still in the vacation mode or vacation mentality. So they want to go here, they want to explore, they want to do all these things. But as you're doing all those things, you know that you're burning through cash as well. So you need to keep that in mind. So we've spoken about your living expenses, accommodation, and all those things. And then you want to look at the cost of setting up your business. And that will probably take you, in terms of registration and paperwork, maybe another $1,000. So in the first month, you've already gone through close to $2,000. Okay. Right, and you have 8,000 probably to go, and your expenditure will keep on increasing as you get comfortable. So $10,000 might seem like a big amount of money in the beginning, but it might not be. It might cover living expenses in the beginning, But in terms of capital for your business, that's another conversation that you have to have. And you need to come in with the expectation that things are not going to be smooth. It's not going to be like an easy ride. Okay, so in the United States, if you want to go get the driver's license, you just go to the DMV, fill a form, yada yada, and then you have a driver's license very soon. It doesn't work like that in Africa. Remember that we're now building our systems, and so the convenience that you had, you have to pay a little bit extra to get that same level in Ghana or in the rest of Africa as well. So think about the capital you want to start your business with. Think about the lifestyle that you want to maintain whilst you're here, and then put some real numbers to it, and then you can make that move.
Got it. So you're saying about $1,000 just living expenses?
Probably. I mean, when you look at your rent going up and down for a month, I think $1,000 might be. And remember, your standard of living is different. What you're used to in America is different from what is in Africa. So a typical African might go through less, but because you're coming from a different culture, you're used to a certain standard of living.
I'm needy.
You're used to a certain standard, so you want to eat certain foods, have certain experiences, and that's going to cost you a little bit more. But as you get used to living in the country, you figure things out quickly, and then you know where to cut costs, things like that.
Right. And so that was definitely my experience, and why I spent so much money is that I was like, well, I'm here. I want to experience it. I don't want to cheat myself with this experience.
Yeah.
And so I think that's great advice. So really take into account like how much you're going to spend as far as your living expenses, and then on top of what is your seed capital for your business. I think that's great advice. Kemo, so I asked you this last year, the same question, and so you had a whole year to think of new answers. So a person of the diaspora coming into Senegal, and so there's differences from Ghana and Senegal and Dakar. What is the living expense for someone moving to Dakar? What do they need on a month-to-month basis? And then like, what is a seed capital? What's the right amount that a person should feel comfortable hopping on a plane with?
I can say that this is really, really difficult question, because what you have to know is the cost of living in Africa, especially in the capital cities, are very, very expensive. Accra is maybe for me, sometimes to me, more expensive than New York. Why? Because if you want to have the same quality of the standard of living, the security, to be in a safe place, okay, it can be sometimes more expensive than to be in New York, for instance. It's the same in Lagos, the same in Dakar. But if you go to rural areas, if your business is in agriculture, for instance, maybe you can have maybe a best quality of life. Okay, so first, it depends on where you are going in Africa. It depends on if you are staying in large cities or if you are living in the rural area. The second thing is, okay, as an entrepreneur, if you come today and you have like the following days a big business, like you sign a contract, maybe you don't need, let's say you need $0 to start a business. If your business is something that is, let's say, they need you right now, and once you arrive, you sign a contract of $100,000. You don't need your $5,000 or $10,000. So it depends on your business. Is your business something very quick to start, to sign, or is it something that can be long? The second thing, which is really important, is are you familiar with the country where you are starting your business? Do you know someone in Nigeria, in Senegal, or in Ghana who can maybe, let's say, at least if you have like a partner who can host you? Okay, so these are the questions you should ask yourself before start to say, okay, with $5,000 or $10,000, I can start a business in this country or that country. One other thing to maybe consider is, okay, For me, when I go to New York, okay, the first thing, okay, who I know in New York, okay, are there some facilities to help me start my business, you know? For an American citizen, wherever you go in Africa, you have like U.S. Embassy or U.S. organizations. Sometimes you can get advice from these organizations. I can name for instance, in Senegal, we have AmCham, American Chamber of Commerce in Senegal, okay, where all the American companies and Senegalese companies interested in doing business in the US are members of this association. So going to talk to these kind of organizations, you can have maybe a larger network. They can give you ideas. They can give you tips that can help you start and grow your business. Okay. So to me, these are the things that came to my mind when you say, okay, how much do you need to start your business? So if you have like a partner, an associate, maybe you can say, okay, I can post you for one month, 2 months, time for you to find something that can suit your needs. You can say, okay, as an entrepreneur, you guys in the US, you have this big thing called American Dream. Okay, we have also African Dream. You know, the African Dream is okay. You are dreaming to come to Africa. You can just take the example of Ghana. The president of Ghana, I was lucky enough to meet with him last year in Princeton. What was his main message? Say, okay, come to Ghana. Okay, Ghana is today open. Last year was like the year of African American in Africa, something like that. So the country is promoting American to come back to Africa, starting from Ghana. So it means that there are many. Today I'm at the hospital. Taking care of my mom. That's why it was, but it's okay. Okay. So you have many initiatives like that from the Ghanaian government supporting Americans who are willing to come back to Africa, especially for Black Americans. This program is for them. So before you start, just take into consideration to know where you are going, how you can develop your network, what can be your business. And from these 2 or 3 informations, you can decide to say, okay, how much do I need to start my business in which country?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kemo. So I just kind of want to give a recap. So one, know where you're going. Do the research on the country, the area. Do you want to live in the city? Do you want to live in the rural area? Calculate the living expenses, and you can look up apartments in Accra and Lagos in Dakar. You can look up, the monthly rent, so you can kind of get an idea of what it'll cost to have living arrangements. There's opportunities in tech, there's opportunities in agriculture, there's opportunities in really everything. And you said mining, and when I get into mentorship call, I be like, where the diamonds at, where the oil at, where the gold at, So like there's so many. Listen, we don't have these conversations in America now. So when I get to have them, I like to go deep. Like, how do I get that? So but there's so many opportunities all across the continent that you really have to just do the research on and just determine what's best for you. Now, we spoke about for a person that wants to actually live in Africa and live on the continent. What if a person just has, some capital that they want to invest, but they don't necessarily want to live in Africa? They're not ready to leave home. They got their own situation here. What is the best opportunity to invest in, say, startups on the continent and get a return, but also trust where your money is going? Because that's a big thing too with Black folks. We don't trust nobody, and that's worldwide. It's worldwide. We don't trust nobody. So how do we invest our money in something that's trustworthy and know that we're going to get a return? And so, Christabel, I'll let you take that one first. Okay.
All right. So there are definitely organizations that are sort of doing some sort of venture type of debt or angel investors type of platform. So there are organizations like that. So you can go to an organization like that and say, hey, I want to invest in this area. and obviously they'll take your money. And if they have business opportunities like that, clients like that, they'll go ahead and on lend to those people and invest equity in those people's in companies. I work in investment banking, and so one of the things that we have is we have like a mutual fund, which I'm sure most of you in the Western world are already know about. So we have mutual funds that invest in the private sector. So what we do is, like, for example, you can make whatever type of investment you want to make in us, and then we, on the other hand, go ahead and invest in the private sector. So for SME businesses and things like that. So if you don't want to come to Ghana, you can invest in the financial space. Okay, so you'll still get your return, but what it is that the funds that you're investing are going to these businesses. And because you cannot be here, you need somebody who needs to invest in a business that is trustworthy. Okay, so they're going to do their KYC on the businesses they're investing in, and then always be checking up on them. There's always due diligence being done. So you always know that you're going to get your returns back. One, and then or they're always going to report back to you. So you're going to get those reports on how the industries that you're investing in are doing. So you have that one aspect where you're going to do it in terms of financial instruments. You can invest in financial instruments. You can do that. Now, if you do know somebody, or if you know some people who are also doing businesses that like you said, there's so many platforms that you can check on up and coming businesses in Ghana, and you can kind of engage them. The thing is that you always need, a credible intermediary, so that you don't end up giving your money to, like you said, a scam artist or a quack thing or a Ponzi scheme, things like that. So it's hard when you're not going to be here by yourself, but at the same time, you have to make the choice to choose a credible business partner that can do this vetting for you, can monitor the businesses for you, can report to you, and can also make sure that you receive the returns that you're supposed to get. So like I've said, you can do the financial instruments, and then you can also go through businesses that In terms of financial instruments, like I said, we have our equities market. I don't want to go there. Our equities market is not doing that great in Ghana, and also in other parts of Africa. I just did a study on Malawi, Nigeria, and I mean, frankly, because coming off COVID-19, a lot of markets are not doing as well as they're supposed to do. So most of them are returning a negative performance. So equities, for now, you can buy into businesses in terms of equity on a listed stock, but it's a good time to buy too, because they're doing poorly. So you buy low, but you're going to buy into a business that you've studied and that is going to grow. So, for example, we see that because of COVID-19, a lot of companies or a lot of businesses are moving towards tech. So you see that there's a boom in tech because COVID-19 has made it so that now we all have to do virtual meetings, have to do things where we don't have necessarily human contact. So you see a lot of businesses coming up in those sections. So you can study the equities market in any of these countries and see if there are opportunities that you can invest in, especially now that the markets are low. And then prices will be low as well. So you can go ahead and buy something, but you're buying to a sector that will bounce back after the pandemic ends. So those are the things. You can buy financial instruments, you can go into the equities market, and you can actually partner with businesses that you have researched and you're comfortable and you know that they're credible. Yeah.
Awesome. So two questions that I'm going to ask you. I think you know which one is. The one is,
okay.
What's the minimum to get started? Because we're talking about serious investments now. And then also, give us some names of organizations that we can research right now.
Okay, so the minimum is always up to you. It is a personal choice.
Really? There's not something? There's got to be something.
No, it's always up to you. So if you want to invest in, say, in financial instruments, you can invest with as little as $1,000. Do you know what I mean?
So there you go. So as little as $1,000, you can invest.
$1,000, you could invest in that in financial instruments. If you did want to go and invest, maybe in a venture business, then probably you need to have a little bit more money so that, you know, the investment that you make is gives you a better return. I mean, obviously, the bigger your investment, the bigger the return, and the bigger the loss as well. Let's just say that you need to know the two sides. Okay.
Yeah.
I know in Ghana there's companies that raise capital. So, for example, we have I think it's Oasis Capital. They're a venture sort of finance company. So they go around and they raise funding, and then they go ahead and go into the industry, into the market, and find people that they can invest in on your behalf. So that's like one name of a company that I know in Ghana. But there's so many other ones. I could get you a list if you want.
That'd be great.
You can put it on your website, and people can just go ahead and look at it later. But the companies like that. And if you wanted to do financial instruments, you just need to get in touch with any credible any credible financial institution. You can get in touch with them. In that aspect, in terms of financial instruments, yes, there may be some minimums for foreign investors, especially. There are some minimums. So I can get you the actual numbers for if you wanted to do a bond, buy bonds, things like that. I could get you the numbers.
That would be great. And for everybody that has RSVP'd for this conference, we'll send that out to the list. So make sure that you RSVP.
Okay.
Thank you, sis. Kemo, I want to switch it up just a little bit because the African Continental Trade Agreement is a huge deal. How does that impact not just trade across the continent, but how does that impact African Americans or just people of the diaspora? And how can we get into trading to America, importing, exporting? How does that benefit us?
Okay, I think that the first thing maybe you can think about is how to build a network within the US first. It can be within a state, let's say in New York, an organization, it can be an association, something like that, where people who are interested in investing in Africa, they can meet and know each other. You can maybe have an idea how to build a venture capital firm within the US to have like a minimum capital. Let's say instead of you, Monica, and another one who had just $5,000 or $10,000 alone. But if you are 100 investors, you have $1 million. And with $1 million, you can maybe, let's say, target 5 to 10 or 20 ventures that you invest in. And it could maybe more interesting for you to target like small ideas, small companies, small startups where you can invest in. So for me, the first thing is how to maybe act as a group to form a group from the US first. This is the first step you need to have. Okay, maybe there are groups of investors, Black American investors in the US. You need maybe to look at them if they exist. If they don't exist, to think how you can build it from scratch. The second one is maybe to have the same, as I said, like when you say American Chamber of Commerce in Africa, in every country, you can find them. To see how you will interact with them, to firstly get information relevant on to the field you are interested in. Okay. The second thing is how you can start when you say, okay, I choose this country. Where are maybe the top 5 or top 10 companies who are serious where we can invest in? Okay. Who is going to monitor this? Are you going to maybe contact with someone like Christabel, or are you going to maybe say, okay, we are a group of 10. We should pay like a trip for Monica to come on the ground and see how things are working and to monitor. Okay, so I think there is a huge need of African interaction with African in the US. Okay, I mean, when you go to Kenya, for instance, there are a lot of Americans investing or let's say launching their business. Okay, but there is a missing part. We see less Black American coming into Africa than we can say Europeans or
Right.
okay, let's name it for us, white Americans,
Yeah.
So it can be interesting to see how you can build something from there and to see how you can interact with the continent because it's easier for you when Monica, you are in Senegal, you are Senegalese, when you are in Accra, you are a Ghanaian, so why not? Why is it will be difficult for you to come than someone who will be seen as a stranger, So just come, just build an organization back home in the US, and to see how and where you can find a better place to start something. There are countries that are really nice, very safe, where business is easy to set up. So with just little money, some network, I'm sure that we can make it happen.
I know that we can make it happen because I've actually been to both of your countries, and you definitely, as long as you're on the ground and you can open up your mouth, it can definitely happen. And so I focused on the money because that's the biggest thing. I think when I first went to the continent, I was like, well, what happens after I leave the airport? I just didn't have a picture of Africa, But in each country, each village, each city, just amazing. I'm amazed by the people, by just what's to be seen, what's to be learned, the feeling of being on a continent is like, it's life changing. It will change your DNA, or I would say awaken your DNA to what is possible. So even this company, Young Boss Media, wouldn't be, maybe even exist had I not had that experience in college of seeing, the motherland and just having that experience. So I definitely say everybody should travel to the continent. But then also just there's so many business opportunities that just don't exist here in America. Like we're taught to be nurses, teachers, work the job, and nothing's wrong with having a job. But one thing I love about just people that are born in Africa is like, get the money, start your business, have your side business, have your job, have your degrees, have multiple degrees. And so there's that hunger for more that I just love when I speak to people that were born and raised on the continent. That I want to bring over here so that we all can be united and just be a force. Because like you said, there are white Americans and white Europeans all over the continent prospering. And so why can't we do the same, and as well as not take from the culture, but actually give to it and help and be a benefit to our ancestors' land, to our land. So I thank you so much for this conversation. We have to wrap up soon, but I want you to give your information, how people can reach out to you, your organizations, your handles, and we'll go after that. So Christabel, you can start.
Okay, so if you want to get in touch with me, you can call. You can send me an email. Should I go ahead and give you the email?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so at c.okantey@investcorpgh.com. So you can send me an email on that, and I'll get back to you as soon as I get it. Yeah, so closing remarks for me. I just want you to go ahead and take that step. It's not going to be easy. Everybody says come to the motherland. It's the land of milk and honey and all those things. Yes, we have all those things. We have all the resources which other people come and take from us and take back to their economies to build their economies. So, it goes to show that there's a lot in Africa for you to benefit from. But you need to take that step. You need to come with the right expectations and be ready to work. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, sis. Kemo,
thank you again for this great initiative, Monica. I hope we'll do the same thing next year, probably physically, because after the COVID-19, next year we will come back again in New York. Secondly, for me, my startup is Wutiko. You can reach out. Our handle are only at Wutiko, everywhere: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. And we are really open to help anyone who is interested in investing in Africa, exploring opportunities. We have a large network within the platform. And maybe one note is we are about to launch a new version of the platform where maybe it will be easier for people to get access to all this information we are sharing about opportunities in Africa. So please come and explore them. It's free to have access to it. So I'm really happy to be with you today and looking forward to for the next session, Monica. And thank you, Christabel, for this great talk. And hope to see you maybe when I come to Accra.
Yes, or maybe when I come to Lagos or Dakar.
See, at least y'all can fly. I can't fly. The moment I'm flying, I'm coming to see both of you. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Yes, absolutely. Can keep watching the Mind Your Business and Prosper. Up next, we have Business Analytics and Strategy, hosted by Tavon Johnson. Stay tuned. I love you all, and I'll see you later. Peace and love.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.